Dude, I'm excited that you're here, Javi. Really, it's a pleasure to have you. I'm delighted because the little I've talked to you, it's really an accomplishment that you're number two in the company, man.
It's been crazy. Never expected it. Never really aimed to be there. If I'm being honest, like it was just never a goal of mine to be up there like that. It's crazy that it's been happening like that, the way it's been.
It is the most competitive door-to-door company in America, hands down. It's a big arena with a lot of competition. So being second among probably 3,000, 4,000 reps is a big deal. A lot of work has been put in on your part to get to this point. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
it.
bet. Who
For a
is number
while,
one?
it's I think Ray Zhang is right now number one. It's
Really?
funny, some of the guys in the office will mess with me, like, let's go Ray, like just to mess with me, and I'm like, it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. But
Just to antagonize you?
yeah, they just mess with me, and I'm like, yeah.
Because you don't get to number two without being ultra competitive, man.
Uh,
Like you have to be very competitive.
I would say
Were you
it's-
always competitive?
Yeah, but it's always more against like myself. Like it's challenges that I put in front of myself. It's never really against another person. Sometimes I'll like to, chase someone, but like realistically now, the way like my mindset has changed is like I want to beat myself. I want to beat my records. I want to like get there. And if but on the way, like I'm hitting like, other things, cool, but it's really against myself more than anything. Like I want to challenge myself to hit something. Like I accomplished that, and then again keep growing from there. So like hit this goal, and then I already have my next one. So that's pretty much kind of where it's been putting me at recently. But yeah, never really chasing anybody. I think when I first came back, I wanted to prove a point a little bit.
Well, you did. I think you
Yeah.
did more than prove a point.
I,
Because last year you did how many accounts?
246 accounts last year.
Okay, 246 accounts. Man, that's incredible. So, and then this year you're already at 150.
Yep, 156.
And the summer hasn't even started. And 80% or 70% of the volume gets done in the summer. Days are longer, competitions are up, there's synergy in the office. Maybe I'd like to ask you, when you were a kid, what was Javier Guillen like? I can't tell if you were a troublemaker or you
I was
were a
very much a
mastermind.
troublemaker.
Or both.
A little bit both. I
Both?
would say that, yeah.
Yes.
I was for sure a troublemaker.
Yeah, tell me.
Silver tooth kid for life.
Silver-tooth kid for life. What does that mean, silver-tooth kid for life?
So I don't know if like, I guess around like my age, like the kids that would always have like all their cavities, like their silver caps,
Right.
right? So those were usually the troublemakers.
Oh, I see.
Like, those kids were always hopped up on sugar, doing crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like always being bouncing off the walls. That was me.
That was you.
Yeah, it's still me.
And where did you get that from? Mom, dad?
Dad.
Oh, dad?
Yeah, for sure.
So you and your dad have similar personalities.
Very, very similar.
So he's a hell of a salesman too.
Yeah, actually, he's a phenomenal salesman. Anything that he's done, he's always been like a crazy, like top tier salesman. I never really saw like the backside of it. Like seeing dad go from like a merchandiser, he was a merchandiser for Pepsi, and then he went to like what was it? I think he was a regional manager for them. We had to move a couple of times, but I would always see the one thing that he would do is whatever he touched, it got better. And it's because of the sales side. I would be like, that was probably the biggest thing that I would see him do. Even like when we have like our cattle business, or like we have right now, like we're doing our Mexican snacks and stuff like that. Actually, I got him a pretty huge, deal knocking on the doors.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so we did business with that guy in the past, and that's when we do produce also, like our family, because we have semi trucks. So I would always see my dad always like calling on the phone. Like now I would understand why more he was on the phone, and it made me realize a lot. And I see a lot of myself like kind of doing that now, because I'm always on the phone, whether with customers, techs, other managers, obviously my team. It's been crazy to see like how much like my life has like turned into that, but I love it. Because there was a big saying for a while with like between our family. It was honestly just like, it's better to be stressed about having too much work than to have no work.
Oh yeah, man.
So
Absolutely.
that was one thing that after seeing like things in my life kind of take a turn on, like right now, like the borders closed. That was my family's like biggest source of income. So
For
like,
the trucking company?
yep. So
Would your dad send produce across the border?
so produce and then cattle. So we buy, sell, broker, and transport cattle.
Okay.
But my dad would sell a lot of the cattle. So like
He transported from Mexico to the States?
Correct. So Santa Teresa in the world has the most cross cattle. So in the world, not the nation, in the world, it's the most traffic like amount of cattle from anywhere. honestly.
When you say Santa
it's like
Teresa,
Chihuahua.
who, for people who don't know what Santa Teresa is, that's a city in New Mexico, isn't it?
City, New Mexico, yeah.
So what would he do? He would drive the truck all the way to the cattle ranches in Mexico?
No, they bring them to the border, and then they go through like border patrol stuff like that. They cross them through. They do get all their X-rays, make sure they're all good. They cross them over, and then we sell them, and then we transport them to different cities throughout like Texas, Kansas, Colorado, a lot of places, Utah.
Okay. From the ranch to the store, you
To
guys transport
feedlot. So we
to feedlot.
Yeah, that's where they get fat before they go to
The slaughterhouse.
yeah to make them meat.
And beef's at like an all-time high.
That's why. It's because right now most of it's native cattle. So beef is super high because 75% of the Southwest United States cattle comes from Mexico. But there's something called it's called screwworm, and it's last time it happened was back in like the 70s. But it's basically like a kind of like getting cows like wounds, stuff like that, infected, or not letting them eat, eating like the outside of the flesh. So they just did something again, which again back in the 70s they released like millions of flies to eat the larva, so it can kill that the screwworm.
Did that impact your dad's business?
Oh yeah, we've been down for the last year and a half. So like that's why we have like the other avenues, like now doing the produce again, and then our snacks and stuff like that. Which is why I bet one of my customers for my family's business at the door, they had already done stuff back in I was 18 at that time. So 11 years ago, we used to do business with him. He was actually I think they're here too. It's called.
And it was a coincidence that you met him on the doors?
Yeah. I saw his shirt and I was like, hey, like I know I used to deliver there, and he was just like. Oh,
and he said he knows your dad?
Yeah, no, they
cool.
linked up. They already put an order with us, and so it's cool. I don't have to do anything. My dad's like, well, you get the commission. Like he said that he wanted to get stuff through you, so like we get ours, but you're gonna get a piece of forever whatever he orders from us. And that guy has like one of the biggest distributions from Oklahoma, El Paso. I think there's one here too. It's like Big Boy or something like that. But just from being on the doors.
That's way cool. Did he buy Vivint too?
Yeah. He was actually already a
cool.
Vivint customer in the past.
So it was monetized in two different ways. He bought Vivint, and he became. It sounds like a long-term customer for your dad's business.
Oh yeah.
That's sweet, man.
So
that's extra special.
The stuff that I've ran into at the doors is I love it because it's not about like selling anything to me. It's about the people that I meet. I've met some crazy cool people on the doors, like random things.
Well, it takes one to know one. I think if you're someone who people like to spend time with, you have an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Like you're a likable guy. People probably don't like when you leave after the sale because they wish you could stay over and hang out longer.
Yeah. And to this day, I have customers that I actually hang out with.
Oh, after?
Yeah, 100%. Like I'll run into a lot of my customers at certain spots, and they go say what's up to me, like, hey, like how you doing, whatever. Like, and like they're friends. Have a drink or two here with some of them every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
So
they
cool.
send me other people too. They're like, hey, you need to call this guy, and all the time now. It's been happening a lot more, but that's a big part of what I tell a lot of our guys. Like, be your most authentic self. Don't change who you are at the door. Like, you should be who you are. Like, if people like you for the way that you are now, like, why are you changing that person to be someone else? Like, you already know how to be yourself all the time, like outside of work. Like, why not just be yourself at work?
And why do you think that's not natural for people? Why can't people just see, oh, my default setting, me as a person, the version I've always been is the best version I could put out there?
I think when it comes down to it, it's like when people hear pitch, they think they know the job that we're selling a product. I feel like they think they have to be a salesman, which in a sense, yes, you do, but you should do it to your best advantages. Like how you talk to people, how you connect with people, use it, but in your way. Like, I'm not saying go like, you should know it verbatim, right? But when you're talking to customers, like, and you're having conversations with them, like how we're having a conversation, right? I always bring it back down to Vivint. So like, it's always like tying whatever conversation you have, but still remembering what you do, right? But I love what I do, so it's really easy, right? If you love what you do, it's never, it's never going to be hard. So I tell everybody.
So when you go to someone's house and you meet them, you might deviate a little bit from what you're normally saying in the pitch, but you can segue right back to Vivint, the product, the service.
Whatever it is that we're talking about, I always tie into what Vivint does and how it can, help them with something that they don't have. Whether they have a super sweet car, right? I love cars. I can sit and talk about pretty much cars, motorcycles, UTVs, anything with a motor pretty much. Race cars, like to a detail, because that's something that's been a hobby of mine since I was a kid.
And so when you talk about that, you find common ground that, hey, we both tend to like cars, you and that person. Can you give me a distinct example on how you would tie that to the Vivint product?
Yeah, so 100%. Like, look, dude, I can tell you've invested so much money into your pride and joy. Like, I see what you have right now. So, like, they have Ring, right? I see what you currently have, right? It doesn't, like, to me, it just doesn't make sense, like, how you are okay with something just barely taking care of your stuff. What we do is, like, you don't put cheap stuff on your car, right? Or
No.
put it on your largest asset, right? Which is your home. And then also your pride and joy, cars, kids, family, right? I can see you've invested so much money. Look, I just want to show you what it is. If it makes sense, cool, right? Heck yeah. If it doesn't, it's all good. But I still want to chop it up about cars. So like, what would you see yourself using that you don't have right now, right? Like after I showed them, and they usually tell me 100% every time. Spotlight. That's actually really cool. 100% because you would see people wanting things from your car, right? Because you've spent thousands and thousands of dollars into it, right? The cool thing with us is you just invest once because of our protection plan. You're always covered, right? You never have to worry about that. Like, what happens if it breaks? You got your protection plan, man. It's gonna be covered. No tech fees, right? No deductibles. So you don't have to worry about investing in the system again because you're always gonna be backed up.
And so you are giving them that information, but first acknowledging what's important to them.
Correct.
And it can be their car, it can be, I don't know, things on their porch. You're just observing as you're
100%.
walking, and you're just trying to find where does the shoe fit.
Yep.
And not everyone has the same needs, so therefore you need to explain it differently.
So that's what I like tell like my guys too. Like, look around when you get in. Look at a picture that they have. That's gonna tell you, like, pictures. Most people time they put pictures on the wall. Like, usually what is it? It's all family pictures, right? But a lot of the times when it's family pictures of things that they've done that like they felt was achievable as a family, like a trip somewhere. And you see it. How many people you go in a house, you see a SeaWorld picture, you see a Disney picture, you see somewhere that they've been out of town. And I'll be like, look, you guys look like you travel a lot. This would be the perfect fit for you guys. And now I tie the cameras into what they love to do, with their family when they go away. How does it make them feel that they know that their home is safe?
Right.
Right.
Because we go on vacation physically, but sometimes mentally we're tied to our home because we're worried about it.
I'm worried about what's going on, if the dog sitter's actually showing up to feed the dogs, things like that.
Giving it mac and cheese,
Exactly.
having a party.
Like 100%. And now that makes sense to them because you're like, you know what? Like, I do travel a lot.
I do know what that feeling's like, to be far away, trying to enjoy, but I can't because my mind is somewhere else. My mind is worrying. My mind is like racing at 10 p.m. Like, is the back door getting kicked in because no one's there to.
They haven't seen my big old truck in the front yard, so they know I'm gone.
Yeah.
You tie a lot of things into their needs, and it's a realistic need, and that's why I tell them, like, if someone really doesn't love it, like, I would rather walk away because I would rather not have customer content, right? That's why I feel like
That's why they stop you. They want to hang out with you because they're pleased. They're overly joyed that you gave them the best service.
and that's another thing, like, speaking of service, I feel like not a lot of guys out there, like, they get a sale and then they don't, like, after, like, their cancellation time, like their ROR or whatever, right? I feel like they stop talking to those customers. Like, that's whatever. My biggest thing with my customers, I'm like, hey, if you have problems, text me or call me, right? If I don't answer, for sure, text me. I'll definitely get back to you. But the one thing that I do that I feel is different from a lot of people is I like doing business old school way, where you start with, you start and finish with the guy you originally talked to.
Oh,
So
cool.
like, if you have an issue, it's easier for me to just send an email out, right? So they reach out to you, so they already know the issue, right? Versus you having to explain things, to have them go do all the things. I'd rather just tell you, like, hey, I sent out the email, it's good to go, right? If you have an issue, or if you're like, hey, like, I've been actually, like, I got something on the app saying, like, oh, we might have like a promotion for this and that, like, we were thinking about adding some more, like, know that you're gonna have my number. And I always tell customers, don't say my last name, just put Vivint. Because you're going to forget my name, and it's absolutely okay unless we actually hang out like we say we are. But put my last name as Vivint, so if you ever do forget my name, you can just type in Vivint on your phone, and I'm going to come up.
They probably like that response. Like, I do business the old way. I'm old school.
100%. I mean, that's
because
real.
now there's no human touch. There's not a lot of accountability. You're lost in the sea of many.
The 1-800
who's my
numbers,
contact?
no one likes calling an 800
I'm
number.
calling the Philippines, or I'm calling a robot.
Exactly.
No, but they're going to
no
call
one
Javi.
likes that. Exactly. And that's something that I do. If a customer texts me, like, I'm going to go ahead, I'm like, boom, I'm going to put an email and send it out.
Nice.
Right? If it's 120 days SOS, if it's out of it, then I'm sending it to QRF.
That gives a ton of reassurance.
100%.
That builds trust. That also results in speed between, like, you asking for the order and them signing the docs.
Not only that, a lot of the times it's something super small, Like they may have adjusted a setting and they couldn't figure out how to get it back. Like, a lot of reps should familiarize themselves with our system other than like the sales side of it. They should use it. And like when I first started, I bought it.
You bought it. You have it at your house?
I have it at my house, yes.
Cool.
But I actually wasn't in a house at the time. I bought it for my apartment.
Oh, right
just so I
on.
can understand how the app worked. And since then, that's another thing that you have on someone else is that like, hey, I can actually see it, use it. If I experience problems, how do I like fix them, change things, just small things like that make the biggest difference to a customer. Because I've literally like had a customer like I can't figure out how to do something small. Like my camera is actually one that I had recently. Customer wanted to cancel because they couldn't figure out why their doorbell wasn't ringing inside. They called the service line and they had no idea, like on customer service, what they were talking about. They were trying to sell them another camera, which they already had the new Gen 2. And all it was is that they had the doorbell muted.
Oh, boy.
That's all it
Simple
took.
thing.
And they were like, I have been trying for the longest time and almost canceled because of that. And it took you less than a minute to explain what I needed to do.
They should go to you first then next time.
Right? And that's what they do. And even if it's not one of my customers, if someone has something like, because I'll, of course, go to a Vivint customer. If they have something small, help them. Walk away from it. Like, because again, like, hey, now that, like, who else do you see would benefit from this?
What's your referral rate? You sell 10 customers. How many referrals do you get from those, you think?
From 10, at least one or two.
One or two.
From 10.
And why do you think you get one or two versus none?
Because I already knocked the neighbors, and usually it's like, hey, this guy just moved in, or hey, like I have someone. I honestly, that's somewhere I feel like I could do a little bit better at. But honestly, like I've had so many customers that have good experiences with me that they just tell me randomly. Like I had one that I hadn't talked to in like 6 months maybe, and he's like, hey, ADT went to my brother's house, but I told him definitely do not go with them. Call this guy, and I went the same day, got him set up, and little referral never hurts a customer, right? And they love that.
Such a sweet feeling.
Yeah, like I did so good that time that they remembered who I was 6 months later. Or I've had some that have been like a year later, and they're just like, yeah,
my guy Javi.
100%.
The whole neighborhood knows him.
It's super cool.
Before we jump into like your tactics with prospecting and your philosophy around area management and why you stay as long as you do in certain areas, what were you doing before Vivint? We talked a little bit about it, but if you could share in some detail, like where were you at, Javi?
So before Vivint, I was with Southwest Airlines. I was with Southwest Airlines for 6 years, 6.5, something like that. And I was there. I liked the job, but I also felt like there was more for me to do. I wanted to do more, and I felt like that was something that was kind of, like I was locked in on hours, always had to answer to somebody.
And what were you doing at Southwest?
I was a baggage handler.
Dang, hard work, man.
Yeah, I was baggage handler.
Busting your butt.
Yeah, 130 degrees on the tarmac. You're in a metal tin underneath the airplanes. It's literally like a metal tin. It's extremely hot.
And you're loading bags.
Yep.
From the carts to the planes.
Yeah, you're literally like crunched up inside of a bin. Like you can't stand up in those things.
Were you working nights or days?
I would work so much. So like back when I was in Dallas, I think my craziest week was I did 150 hours, and there's 160 hours in a work week. I had very little sleep. I would actually sleep at the airport, and I wouldn't see a check like I did now. And it was crazy because like I was out there in Dallas by myself. I was 18 years old. I had my son, so that's why I went out there, and it was a different experience. Even back then, I was definitely like grinding, but like I was doing all that to feel like I still had nothing. It wasn't that it was bad pay. It's just that I wanted more. Right?
Why do you think you wanted more? Like, what was it that dawned on you? Was it a family member, a friend? Did you reflect on your dad, who
100%.
was a business owner, and he taught like why you should take risks?
So that's a huge one of why I saw like when my dad left Pepsi, he was there for like 16 years, 16 or 17 years, something like that. And he left. He didn't have to leave. He was always getting promoted. He was always coming up with great ideas for them, but he felt that there was more. So he opened his first business, which is really good, which was our family's body shop at the time. And that's where it started. If there's one thing that I took away from it is I would lock in on one thing more than multiple things, which is kind of why I locked in here.
Yes, and it's paying you handsomely.
Yep.
Like narrow focus gives you these like outrageous outcomes.
Yep. And now like even my dad's now realizing that because he saw me do it.
Right.
which is really cool.
With Vivint.
Yeah. He locked in on one thing. He's like, okay, I'm gonna stick with the trucks.
See, and then you can just drill down, you're digging a hole that's 1,000 feet deep versus 10, 100 feet deep holes, and you're getting better, rapidly because you only have one target to hit. So you're at Southwest, you're busting your ass, you're like a new dad.
Yeah.
The pressures of life are coming. You no longer have to just worry about you and your needs. Where did you go after Southwest?
Well, I had transferred to El Paso, and then from El Paso, that's when, like right before COVID, started to come with Vivint.
Solar was born.
So solar was there.
The noise was out.
Yeah.
What year was this? Was this 2020?
2020.
Oh, a great time to
Peak solar.
make the change. And you were working Southwest in El Paso.
Southwest in El Paso. I had moved over
Okay.
for 2 years. I had already been back in Southwest at El Paso, be closer to home, things like that. I would fly my son because we used to have like a flight benefit. So my son I'd fly every other weekend to pick my son up and fly him back down because we flew for free.
Right.
So it was really nice.
Those benefits are tempting.
Yeah, but then I realized that wasn't going to be a forever thing because he was going to start going to school. Things might not have worked. Sports are coming, things like that. So I was like, okay, like now I need to, grow myself, grow in a different way, which is like, how can I benefit like my son? This is way before my daughter was in the picture. And it wasn't really an intention of mine to find solar. Obviously, back then, people were going crazy with solar, right?
Yeah, but and was it a friend from where? Who was he?
Yeah, so his name was Louis. And
he was doing solar.
He was doing
and
solar.
What did he say? He told you the stories.
He was like, dude, just try it. Like, you're a
making.
really likable guy. Like, you can talk to people. Like, that's always been you. Like, I think you would do really good here. I was already kind of getting tired of, the Southwest thing. I was already kind of like, I either had to be comfortable there and just settle in and wait, 10 years to get my max, pay scale there, which was at the time, I'll never forget, it was $32.09 was like their max hour.
And what were you
after
making?
10 years. When I left, I was doing like $21 an hour.
21 bucks
So it
an
wasn't
hour.
a bad, gig.
Dude, relative to what you're making now, yeah, it's a bad gig.
Yeah, exactly.
You would never touch that.
No, I would never go back
But
to
at
that.
the time, you just didn't know what you didn't know.
Yep. So when the solar opportunity came, I went and saw what he did. I was like, oh wow, like actually like this. Saw a couple closes, and I was like, okay, cool. So I was just a setter, and that's like honestly, like I wanted to be a closer only in the fact that I wanted to set and close my own. Right. That's pretty much it. I don't want to worry about like other people, like setting for me. I'd rather just go get my own.
Yeah, you have more control over the outcome.
Exactly. So that was I never ended up being a closer, but only because I was a phenomenal setter. It clicked instantly for me. I learned the pitch. I did great when it was solar. I was making, money hand over fist. I would pay for people at Southwest. I would work one day a month, like on a Sunday, just so I could keep my benefits of like insurance and my flight benefits for my son. That's the only thing I did, but I would pay people. And they'd be like, are you serious? It'd be like $100 a shift, whoever wants it. And you got to think I'm working, 5 days a week, and that's $500 a week. And they're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Oh, I see.
So,
but your time was better spent working in sales than it was there. So you're willing to
100%.
pay them off.
Yeah.
Not pay them off, but incentivize them to take your shift.
Yeah, 100%.
So you kept your insurance and your benefits.
Correct.
And how long did that go for?
That went for almost a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, you had some happy coworkers.
Yeah, no, they loved it.
They probably teared up when they heard you were actually leaving.
Yeah.
Damn,
no,
I'm not
yeah,
getting,
like,
I'm not getting
that
my
extra $100.
I'm not getting my paychecks padded by Javier anymore.
Yeah, no, it was pretty
It was a
crazy.
sad day, man. I'm
Yeah.
sure many people were disappointed to see you go.
So,
but you rode off into the sunset.
Yeah, I stuck to it there for, I did solar till it went pretty down. Then finally they,
2020 till when?
I want to say 2022. And then they were like, okay, you can finally do like a smart home, right? And back then it was 450 RMR was the, remember that? Before it was 510?
Yeah, before it was 510.
So I actually came here to do the training.
It was too easy.
Dude, I did my first week.
Really?
Here in Vegas.
And why is it that you transitioned from solar to smart home? Because some people are still stuck between the two. They're undecided. They're holding on to what was, and they're losing sight of what the landscape has now been with solar having changed so much. What was it that got you to transition?
For me, it was more of, so many companies being out there, so many like, I guess just backlogs with like who's going to get installed and like cancellations, things like that. Because back then there was so many like, and then I think one company that we were using at the time, they had like a 6-month like backup like for the orders. I'm like, So we either had to go back and like try and reclose them. By that time, like, didn't really work out. But
So the sales cycle is really inefficient.
yeah,
You'd put forth a lot of work, and then that work kind of like went by the wayside because
and it wasn't because of the closures either. It was because of the people that were had the product.
yeah, installing
Yeah,
major bottleneck.
and it was a huge issue. And I was like, you know what? Like I had been pushing to go to the smart home. So finally, when they came out with this new year-round pay scale,
But why were you pushing?
because
go
I
to
saw,
smart
which it sounds crazy. I used to give, I don't know if you remember Renique.
Sort
Renique
of.
Lovett.
I think so.
Him and Oscar, I would send them deals. I would send them customers. And
Smart home deals.
Yeah, I would refer them like customers that I talked to, like, oh, Vivint, like actually, like, we're looking at cameras, things like that back then. And I would give it to them and I would see these guys closing. I'm like, there has to be something more to it. And I was like, and it sounds like, and from when I talked to customers, it was a higher need than the solar. After, having, small times of just like, dang, like another one canceled because it took too long or this,
Just
that,
devastated.
permit poachers, like,
Oh, I thought I was gonna get paid. Now, like
yeah,
my checks are
now,
gonna be
now I
half
get
as
back
much.
charges and then,
Oh, because they're collecting your upfront commissions.
yeah, so like
that
that,
they gave on good faith.
I could not stand that.
Oh.
And that's one of the things where I was like, okay, well, smart home is, I feel like, a more secure place to be because of the same day installs, right? So not only are they excited about their purchase, they're getting it the same day, getting to
Immediately.
use it the same day. So that was huge to me, seeing that, and I'm like, I like that. And then when the new pay scale came out, I loved it, right? So that happened like 2023, and then that's when I saw the back charges that started to affect me. And back then,
From solar.
yeah,
Because you would get advance money up front under the assumption they would get installed, but because the cancellation rates were so high, there were more charges than you had commissions coming from solar.
Correct.
Which left debt, so to speak, on your books
So
that they were cleaning up.
yeah, so that was one thing that kind of like turned it off for me for a bit. And then 2024 came, and so I was already gone. Like, so the end of 2023, I was kind of like, something happened, but I was just like, you know what, I need to like go do something. Like, I don't feel happy here right now. Like, I was kind of upset with all this going on. Like, I put in so much work and I feel like now nothing's coming back to it. I feel like I owe more than anything now. Like, I was a little discouraged, which should have stuck it out because they got it handled pretty quick, but I didn't. So I left Vivint for like a year. So 2023, like mostly through 2024. Again, 2024, I didn't start back till like December. But again, I was already pretty much not knocking anymore for a few months before then. I just wasn't like, I was a little with solar and alarm because of it. I went to go drive trucks, haul cattle with my family.
You were going to work with a family business.
Yep.
You were teaming up with your dad.
Yep, got
during
myself
that
a
time?
truck. I bought a truck with some of the things that we had. Like, so got a truck there. Then we got a truck with the in-laws too. So I was doing cattle for them like wintertime, which when it was dead for concert season. So I was loading cattle, and I would actually physically load the cows.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, I would get in the trailer with them. Like, I would actually load them into their I guess designated areas of how we break down the weight in the cattle. I would actually have to put how many are going in like the front load, how many are going in the middle. Am I splitting the middle? How many are going up top in the front, middle, and then we used to call it the cocina. It's like the little back part of the trailer, and then how many are going
kitchen?
at the bottom. The kitchen, the cocina. That's what they called it.
They called it.
It's like it's just because it's
So
weird.
you wore many hats transporting these cattle. You were not just the driver. You were the one operationally that had to take the cattle from the ranch and organize on how they were going to get transported.
Yep.
Is that common for people who transport cattle?
Yeah. And so like it's up to
very
you how to
involved.
distribute the weight on it. Cattle's a different animal, so it's probably the hardest form of like truck driving that there is, which is why I kind of wanted to tackle it too. So anything else after that was like easy because we drive at night. Okay, because at night cows lose less weight, and when you deliver, it's based on the weight, and you were paid off the weight of the cow.
Oh.
So it was like instead of like you're getting paid X amount of cents per mile, you were getting paid like 25% of
The weight.
the profit. So, but the profit is based on if they lose too much weight, because it's by the pound for the seller, right? How it is. If they lose too much weight, then you're losing money.
Oh.
And these cows can, in one load, you can lose a lot.
Yeah, thousands of dollars.
That's thousands of pounds, bro. That's crazy.
Oh boy, yeah. You think about it, it's like
It's 100 cow,
if
120
each one
cows.
loses 1 pound,
No, it's like they lose like 15 pounds,
oh,
20
they lose
pounds per,
15
and there's
pounds.
100.
How far are you driving though?
I would
What's
drive
the
like
longest that you would drive?
11, 12 hours.
12 hours, and they
Yeah,
lose that much
nonstop.
weight.
So
They
I
lose
would,
that much weight.
yeah.
Oh shoot, man,
So that's
that's
why we drive at
crazy.
night.
Their
Less
metabolism, I
when
guess, works better during the
it's
day or
crazy.
at
The
night. Things
summers
slow
you
down.
never
They
see them in the
sleep.
summer. No, they
Oh,
don't sleep.
they don't
Like
sleep.
no, because you don't want them to sleep. Because if they get tired, you have to make sure that they stay awake. They'll fall and get trampled and die. So like it was a crazy form,
That's
dude.
hard ass work, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's harder than knocking
I
doors.
did like 76 hours no sleep,
Straight. That's
and
three
then
days, more than
like
3 days.
yeah, no, like literally no sleep, and to the point where I was like, oh my god, I need to sleep because I started like sleep like deprived, like I was like hallucinating. I was like, yeah, I think I should pull off.
Yeah, you should pull off. I think they even have like rules that you can't drive a certain length
It's
or
it's
distance.
different with cattle though.
Oh, it is different with cattle?
Yeah, it's super different.
Probably because they know that there's a lot of economic incentive to
So there's
transport
like
quickly.
150 air miles for agricultural, so you don't have to start logging your miles until 150 uh, like air miles. So I think it was 173 land miles that you didn't have to log, which in itself in a semi truck is almost 3 hours. So you're allowed to drive 12 hours a day, but you have 3 hours each way. So you have, anywhere around 18 hours to drive in a day.
Oh boy. And that's for everybody. And
Yeah.
that's like within the protocol. That's like
Yep.
within the
You're
law.
supposed to rest at X amount of time, but
But you just went straight.
there's
Luckily you're
things that
here.
you can do.
Luckily
Yeah.
you're safe. Luckily the cattle got transported.
Yep.
They didn't lose too much weight.
Yeah.
Family business got paid. People got their steak on their
Yeah.
plate.
I hate cows.
You hate
And
cows,
because of that,
man?
yeah.
I
I've
have.
been kicked by them. I've been,
Oh, dude, that must be awful.
yeah, no,
Like
it's,
in the nuts or in the face,
dude, no
in the
legs.
chest.
Oh, no. It would have if it was, I've seen some crazy stuff, but you
I
never want to get kicked by a cow, I'll tell you that much.
Dude, it sounds treacherous.
Like-
I have, I think, 3 or 4 cows that my dad takes care of. I'm not really involved.
Yeah, see, like those are
They,
different
they
though. 'Cause
sell
those,
well.
yeah,
There's like $6 a pound
those,
right now.
yeah, those are probably like,
Black Angus.
so Black Angus is one of the main ones, but like the way that it works is the way these cows are coming from, Mexico over to here, like they were very, how do you say it? Like
Like-
they're used to being like yelled at and pushed into an area versus like free roam cattle.
Oh, okay.
So like they're a little bit meaner.
They are meaner
Yeah,
than the
much more,
cattle.
like you can't go up to them. Like they're like,
Oh, which is why they're aggressive with you.
exactly. So like if you're trying to force like 100 into like a little tiny trailer thing, like you're gonna get some that are gonna kick back or charge back.
So they're aggressive cattle.
Yeah.
Shit.
But
So okay, you go there for a year and a half.
yep.
After solar, because solar
Solar and alarms.
was disappointing.
But because it's solar.
Because of solar, it was very disappointing. And then what was it that brought you back?
Honestly, being home.
How did it pull you back in?
So Oscar Signs and Oscar Salcido were heavily like at me, like, hey, like come back, like you should come back. Like a lot of things change, come back, come back.
You can make more money. You don't have to be sleep deprived. You don't have to risk like
Yeah.
getting trampled by cattle.
And you know what? And I had said I was never gonna come back, and I should never say never. Like it was such a good thing that I said, you know what? I'll go try it out. Like Oscar Signs, like, dude, just try it. Like if you don't like it, then don't come back. And I came back. I think my first week back, I didn't have to do no sets, and like that, I already knew the product. The only different change was the spotlight, which was already end of 2024. And I sold 510 like my first week.
And
Back.
and for people who don't know, the 510 are basically the metric that people need to hit to maximize the pay scale.
Yep. Our pay
weekly.
multiplier.
Yeah, so 510 usually is how many customers for you,
Um,
because you sell high quality. You sell
It's 4 to 5.
based off value.
It's usually about 4 customers.
So 4 customers.
4 to 5. around
So
there.
it's roughly like 125 or 105,
Yep.
around there.
My average payable right now, like that I was looking at on Curator, it was 106.
Okay.
Like that's my average payable.
So you go out, you spend how many hours a week? How
Um,
many hours do you think you knock a week?
so I usually knock from 1:30 to, I was capped for a little bit, but thank God summer's coming, won't be anymore. But I was knocking from about 1:30, 2 o'clock at the absolute latest. Absolute latest. I hate being late to doors.
You hate being late to doors because you get a lot of momentum early in the day.
Yep.
That allows you to put in more than just one account a day.
Correct. So that's why I say like your prospecting should never end. The way I see it is no matter what I'm doing, I'm prospecting. So like my first thing that I do when I get to hood, like let's say 1:30, I'll take a lap around the hood, see where I see the most traffic, right? And then I kind of plan out the rest of my day. So I'll spend like 15 minutes just again seeing what street has the most cars in front, things like that.
Are you on foot or are you on a Segway or are you in your car?
No, so the first 15 minutes I'm in my car, obviously.
Oh, you're in your car.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
you
again
drive around.
putting myself where I'm starting, because if I put myself that way, the way that I see it is if I start where there's the most traffic, I'm gonna have a good amount of conversation, and then I just go further and further later in, and then like back to the front for the ones that I miss. So like everybody wants to. I mean, you as a leader, I'm sure you've had people like, I killed my hood and it's been like 2 days.
Oh no, there's always deals left on the table, man.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's because you're knocking wrong. And they're like, what do you mean? You should not knock more than 4 streets. At most, like 4 streets, and you start going back to where you started. Because again, the neighborhoods change every 30 minutes, right? And if you're going 20 streets down, you missed every person that just got home on those first 4 streets.
So you normally get a deal how soon after you start? I feel like you get it really early.
Usually by 4 o'clock.
By 4 o'clock, you already have your first deal?
Yep.
Okay. And then and what you're doing is you're spending from 1 to 4, working 4 streets, and then at 4, do you go back?
Yeah, I
the
started
way
going
you
back.
came?
I started going back where I started.
So you like fragment the neighborhood into small pockets, and you just will work those areas.
Correct.
What are the advantages you get from that versus like other methods?
Well, when you do that, you become more familiar in the neighborhood. People can wave at you. People like you. Well, like one big thing I tell my guys to do: any car that passes by, you start waving. I literally just start waving at them. Hi, like be a happy guy. Talk to anybody in the street. See someone walking the dog. Hey, how's it going? You guys have a beautiful day, whatever. But genuinely mean it, right? Like you want to have like a little bit of conversations. But what happens when you do that, right? See people walking dogs, see cars going by. Not only are you, now seeing someone pull up, but you can see who's home. Because if you talk to someone earlier and said, oh, like my spouse makes that decision, and you see spouse pull up, right then and there, now you can go back because both of them are home. You start seeing and multiple people, whether it be like 2 days later, you're trying to get both spouses there, right? You know which one drives what car, and then the other one, or like they keep missing each other, but now you know how they look, how they are, and now you can go back in confidence and like, okay, I'm gonna have a conversation with them because now I know they're both there.
Because you're paying really close attention at all hours of the day.
All the time. You should never stop prospecting.
And from 1 to 4, why is it that you're out with urgency to get to areas so early versus everybody else? I feel like most people, they don't have the same level of urgency that you do.
No, I literally rushed.
And that's the
with
reason
my
why,
team.
like you're, top rep in the company, your payable is really high relative to probably other people that are first or third or fourth or fifth place at the company.
So the honest reason of why it should be a habit to be like, I need to get to work. I need to get to work. And that's something that like I implement to myself, like, because I feel like I'm not utilizing my time well if I'm sitting around waiting for it to cool off a little bit, doing that. Like I'm not getting the most I'm not being efficient with my time. I'm not talking to customers, right, in those hours. What am I doing? I'm sitting down, like bored, whatever, like, oh, it's too hot still, I'm gonna wait. No, like
You're out there on foot. Are you on foot?
I'm on foot.
So you don't use a Segway?
No.
Okay.
I had a scooter for a while, but it's pretty cool. I like it. It helps when it's like extremely hot. That's probably when I'll pull the scooter out. But I still prefer to be on foot because you notice a lot more things. The doors, you might not get to the next door as quick, but you're qualifying a lot better, seeing things on their home, things like that. So like I'm like looking, okay, like they drive this kind of car, like they take care of their yard, this, that. Like now you're able to qualify a lot better, right? See things in their house. Like if someone has a certain sign, like now I can connect with them on, let's say they have a football team, I can chop it up football. I see a sticker on their car, I can chop it up about the sticker, like whatever the sticker may be. I start looking at little things like that. And I feel like that's really important because now you're getting to know your customer before you even knock on their door.
And you can't do that as effectively if you're on a Segway or you're in your car.
No, because you're flying through the hood looking at the next note. I don't care about the notes.
You care about what you can see in the like imminent direction that
right?
you're headed.
If I see a customer with any store-bought camera, right, I already know that they're security conscious in a sense. Now I just need to know why. So I look at the things that they have around. Okay, like they have their cameras pointed at what? Okay, what's important to this customer?
Oh, I see.
So now I'm like, okay, I see, hey, I noticed the one in the front. I saw you guys had it specifically pointed at this car, a lot more than the other car. Why is that? And then I go and again, they tell me. So I feel like when you do things like that, you're able to get a lot more. Like, again, like, I guess, how would I say it? I'm getting a lot of more information from the customer without speaking to them, just by observing what they have on their house, on their cars, things like that.
Mm.
So I think that's a huge part of why I have a good, I guess like success rate with customers is just because I'm trying to know them before I get to them. So that's why I mentioned earlier, I look 3 doors ahead, right? So like I'm looking 3 doors ahead at all times, right? I'm not just thinking about that one, because if I'm looking 3 doors ahead, also it helps me not think about the ones that are behind me.
And what are you looking for exactly?
I look in the corners if they're security conscious, have cameras, looking for an alarm sign, cars there.
Are you targeting mostly switchovers for the part of your day, or are you just knocking whatever signs of life you see?
Whatever's there.
And are most of your deals, these 150 that you have done in the preseason, making you the second highest producing rep at Vivint? Probably number one if you consider numbers and RMR revenue that you're generating weekly. Because it's one thing to sell out of accounts, but that doesn't equal making a lot of money per account, because some people just, they get the number, but they give the sale away.
Correct.
Because they're scared, or they flinch with the price, or they think that it's not worth it, or they think that, like, okay, the budget is more important than the value that I could bring them. But for you, how many accounts of the 150 have been fresh deals, and how many have been switchovers?
Honestly, I would
50-50?
say, yeah, because a lot of the times I chase after any company at that. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a security company or a store-bought, surveillance camera. Doesn't matter. CCTV doesn't matter. Anything.
You go after all of it.
Correct. So like a lot of people have CCTV, right, but they don't have security, right? So I don't sit there and talk to them about cameras when I know that they're going to be super prideful about their cameras. Like, hey, I love that you already got that. The one thing I noticed you didn't have, right? Then see, an alarm sign. Who do you guys have for your security? Oh, we just have our cameras. Perfect. I'm not here to sell you cameras. I know you see a lot of Vivint cameras around here, but the reason why I'm coming is because I noticed you didn't have security. Right? What good is it to have cameras if you don't have security? If you see something happen on your camera, what happens when, you can't really do anything? You're going to call, and what's going to happen? Nothing.
And what if I say, well, I've got cameras and I'm good. I just think that that's enough.
100%. So the biggest thing that I tell people is, like, how many times have things been good in your life, but it still got better? A lot, I'm sure.
A lot.
Right. So my job isn't here to, sell you on why we're better. I'm just trying to show you what's more available. You have a smartphone, right?
I do.
Okay. So and something I love to explain, the way I'm explaining my system against, what you have right now, is just like the reason you have a smartphone and not a flip phone is because it's more convenient for you to have a smartphone, right? It does a lot more. It's a lot quicker than a lot of things you have. That's exactly why people look into Vivint, is because we're all that. So we are the smart home versus, the flip phone.
Versus just your CCTV cameras.
Correct.
And from there, do they seem to get more interested?
Yeah, and I always tell them, like, hey, honestly, I'm not here to sell you anything today. This is not for everybody. My job is really easy. I just show you what it is, what it does. If it makes sense, great. If not, no worries. I'm still going to leave you with my information. That way, in case you ever do decide to switch, you're at least going to have the number, right, what it costs, and then my personal phone number, so you can call me at any time. All right, again, it's not for everybody. It might not even be in the budget, things like that. It's okay. Okay, and then...
And are you saying this at the door?
Yep.
Cool. And then you would transition to the house, or do you present mostly from the iPad standing up?
I pretty much just tiled I go through the cameras, right? Cameras, 4K, spotlight. The only one I can kind of skip right now is the radar detect, the 24/7, then how you do like the areas, things like that. Then doorbell, look, do you order more packages or the wife, cool. Check it out. What ours does is extremely clear on the camera view, right? And then 180 degrees. Anybody walks up when you get a package, right? It's going to tell you package delivered, and then of course I just show them, like, anybody walks up to it to try and take it, okay, it's going to whistle, say camera recording. All right, we're protecting your packages at the door,
And what if the customer said, well, can I get all that stuff at Best Buy or Amazon?
It's a lot different when it comes to those, because what I explain to people is just like, if those companies made you pay a service, right, would you rather pay their service or our service? Because theirs is never going to do the same thing that ours does, right, especially when it comes to Wi-Fi dependency. Right.
In what sense, Wi-Fi dependency? For people who don't know or haven't heard the objection before.
Wi-Fi goes out, okay, your cameras go out. 100% Wi-Fi dependent. Thus, you're connected to the cell. We've got our AT&T Verizon on it, the cell chips, whatever is working strongest is what's going to use. But the cameras are going to stay recording on your panel, right? So even if the Wi-Fi is out, you're still going to have the footage for that 24/7. So you're not going to skip a beat versus with everybody else, and especially the clips, right? Most of these companies out here are motion, based. Yes, they can tell you that there's people in vehicles, but the difference is anything sets it off. Whether a fly goes by it, paper bags in your driveway, things like that, cat, dog, whatever the case may be. These are people in vehicle notifications, so it minimizes the unwanted, notifications and clips. So that's kind of where the difference is with us.
I feel like you're really good at selling cameras because you have such a high average package price.
And it's because they see the value.
They see the value. But the thing that drives your RMR, the monthly recurring revenue, that also dictates how much the company pays you, because the more RMR, more recurring revenue that you generate in a week, the better the commissions per deal are. And the biggest driver, wouldn't you say it's the cameras?
It's a big part of it, but it depends on the customer.
Do you go heavy with the cameras? Like how many cameras do you sell per system?
I would say like average 3.
3? Most people are not selling 3.
That's
Why
2 or
not just
3.
why not just say, oh, we'll give you the front and the back?
2.6, on last week.
Oh, really? You did 2 6-camera deals?
Cams.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But most people think that, oh, they may only need the front and the back, so I'm going to say that that's all they need.
So,
how do you bring it up where the option is to add more cameras than limiting them and saying, okay, you're going to get 2, one in the front, one in the back?
So it's also based on where customer wants to be, right? Like if they don't see the need, I'm also not going to try and push more on a customer when I don't even see the need for it. The only time I tell customers, if they have things on the sides of their house, like, do you store anything on the side? No? Okay, you have 2 neighbors, right, that already have, but our camera views are so wide, you'll know before someone gets there anyways. Okay, and that's why we put sensors on the windows. I'm not going to try and sell more to someone that doesn't need to have more.
Okay.
Right? Like, and that's something that I tell them. Like, I'm not going to sit here. If you want them, the way I say, build the pack as if it were free. Okay, if we need to take away to be closer to budget, cool, by all means. But like I said, if I don't see the need for it, and I see that they're like really like, oh, like I don't really need it, cool. By all
You won't
means.
push it.
No.
So they get the sense that you're a person that is looking out for their best interests, not
100%.
trying to generate revenue.
Correct.
It's interesting because that camera is the thing that adds the most of RMR of anything that we could possibly sell.
I would say my sensors is pretty really up there. I think people sleep on sensors.
Oh, really? You sell a lot of sensors? Why?
Well, one, because you're creating, like, hey, not only is the cameras recording stuff, but like we want to know, like, again, if power goes out, what happens to cameras? We use, house power. I'm not shying away from it. I'm saying we're not going to protect your home, right? That's why we put sensors on doors and windows, okay? Because in the event that there is a power outage and someone tries to open a window, guess what? Your home is still protected, with or without power, because our panel has a battery backup. Sensors are battery driven, so you're already going to know if someone opens it, because that alarm is going to go off, even if there's no power.
On all the doors and all the windows?
All the doors and all the windows.
So do you get all the windows covered?
Yep.
Oh, I see. Do you feel like it's the perception of value as well, that they see, oh, I'm getting a lot of equipment. I'm getting like 15 or so doors and windows.
Yeah, if you have 20 devices in your home.
So therefore, like, I'm okay paying a little bit more.
I do the garage controllers, door locks, thermostats. Those are all things that I make sure to hit. Protection plan too, it's a huge one. I feel like people sleep on that one a lot.
Oh, okay.
I think I only have maybe 1 or 2 deals out of the 150 that don't have the protection plan.
Oh, really? Can you tell me how you bring the protection plan?
Well, that's to me the most important thing, what separates us from everybody else. Because a lot of companies are going to try and mimic what we do, right? If you ask your iPhone, I don't know if you've ever done it, if you ask your iPhone who the best smart home security company is, okay, it's going to say Vivint. Whether it's Android, ChatGPT, iPhone, whatever it is. Like, it's pretty cool, actually. But when I get to it, man, it's really crazy, because I tell them, like, this is the most important thing to me, because you're not going to get something that is only going to be used for, your 5-year installment, right? And that's another one that I use, installment. Certain words make people fear a little bit. So installment's a huge one. Your installment plan.
You say it or you don't say it?
No, I say installments versus financing.
Oh, okay. So
sometimes the word financing scares people.
Okay, so you do it over like the 5-year installments.
Yep, and I explain that, when it comes to financing, like I still say it when it comes to that point.
I see. Yeah, explain to me like how you bring up the protection plan.
So when it comes down to it, I would say, like, aside from your installments, you're gonna have your protection plan, already included in your service cost. All right. The big thing with the protection plan is it's gonna, of course, warranty your equipment. Okay, even after equipment's paid for, right? That's huge, because most people go and, you go and buy a store-bought camera. It lasts, 3 years maybe? That's if the battery lasts that long. You have to keep charging it, things like that. And if it does, you got to buy it again, install it again yourself, and do a lot of those things no one wants to do. Versus with us, if anything happens, you give us a shout, okay? Say, hey, this camera's having an issue, camera broke, whatever the case may be. And no tech fees, no deductible, right? It's beautiful. Make your investment one time. Like, covered forever. It's a no-brainer in my eyes, because over 10 years, you're probably going to spend more on what you would with our equipment with another company system that you keep having to go, and you're going to spend more time and money, right, than anything. So that's why it's a huge thing of like their protection plan having coverage on the equipment, things like that.
And not having to buy it again.
Exactly.
Buy it once and not have to worry about it.
Correct.
And people sleep on that.
Yep. And you can, and like by all means, if you ever want to upgrade, add more things, like you're always able to do that with Vivint. Okay. But like for what makes sense for you right now, again, it's going to be covered forever.
And what's your attachment rate on your deals with the protection plan?
I have like maybe 2 that don't have it.
Oh, so out of 150, you only have 2 that don't have it.
Yeah. Actually, I think it might even be 1, but I want to say it's 2. I think it's 2, but I'm pretty sure.
It's crazy that protection plan is $8.
Yeah, $7.99.
$7.99. So it's $88 if you max out the pay plan weekly at the 11 multiple.
Yep.
So that's, you take $88 times 150. That would be a lot of money that you wouldn't have been able to make, and a lot of value the customer never would have received. Like if you do, let's just see here on those accounts, 88 times 150 is like $13,000. Just by getting better at explaining Vivint's entire offering. Probably like you said, the most important part is they don't have to buy it again. They buy it once and not have to worry. That's a big deal for you and for them. It's interesting, these small little things that you can adjust that over a year's time have major outcomes. Don't you think?
Yep, and especially home insurance discounts. You know what I mean? I feel like people don't really hit those either. You know, like insurance on most houses go up every year. Okay, and usually the discount that they get for security, things like that, Vivint checks off a lot of those. So it doesn't have cell, 24/7, glass break, the fire monitoring, all that stuff is an advantage for the customer to save somewhere else too. So once equipment's done, right? Like I had one customer call me, they told me they saved like $68 they saved, something like that on their home insurance. They were paying like $250, crazy.
Oh boy, monthly.
Yeah. So seeing that already was over the cost of their service.
And when do you bring that up in the sale?
So I let them know too, like there's a lot of discounts. Like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, hey, you're gonna get $100 a month off. No, like, but what's really cool is that your insurance goes up every year, but because, they do it off a percentage base. So somewhere like, oh, you get a 5% discount for having that, right? Every year that the insurance goes up, guess what? So does your home insurance discount from having security. So not only that, like over time, you're probably gonna offset the cost, or at least eat, half of it over time at least.
And do you bring that up after you drop price or before?
After.
Oh, after?
Well, I mean, I'll bring it up. Like, there's other savings other than, we only go down versus up like other competitors, right? You're locked in with us at, this forever, not going to go up, unless the government says we have to go up, that's about it. But I tell them, like, honestly, like, that's the best part, is you're going to save. So realistically, you don't get the discount without the service, right? So you're winning somewhere all the time.
I see. And are they pleased with that?
Absolutely.
Cool. So really your average package price that customers buy from you is like $105. What does it end up costing them after the homeowner's insurance discount?
I mean, it just depends on where they're at. Yeah, I've had customers have $5 of savings, right? Okay. Usually under $1,000. I see that it's like $5 to $10.
But regardless, you always mention it.
Yep, 100%. Okay. Like, hey, just so you know, like there's most insurances, honestly, I think almost all of them, right, give you a discount on this.
I see.
So like just send in your certificate of installation to them, and just know you get some more savings from there.
Okay. And what other best practices that reps just forget, or they don't know, that you feel like is underutilized? You talked about the sensors, you talked about the homeowner's insurance, you talked about the protection plan, which is huge.
That's huge.
What else do you think people are unaware of?
I think that the rest is when it comes to studying competitor products, because you're able to overcome a lot of the objections that they're going to say, or even correct a customer on what it does. And that shows you more professional in your field when you don't only know about yours, but you know about your competitors.
Can you give me some of the best examples you have? Maybe one or two.
So batteries. Batteries is a huge one. Batteries and solar, right? Like blink cameras, you either have the ones that you can recharge, or you have the ones that you can put AA batteries in, okay? A lot of these companies do have SD chips, right? But same thing is like they still lose a lot of stuff. Their cameras don't function without the Wi-Fi, even if they have the SD chip. Okay.
And what's the disadvantage of having batteries in the cameras?
Well, it's a lot of time going up and down, right? Especially like over time, like you don't think those springs that hold the batteries are going to start wearing out. They're not going to get weathered. The little strips that hold the little weathering strips they're not going to wear out after being in extreme heat, after opening and closing them multiple times. Like there's eventually going to get water in them, dirt in them, things like that. Like you don't have to do that with us, right?
Because what do we offer?
So the hard wire, right? You don't have to worry about the charging. The chip is inside you have your, the, our DVR chip in the camera, essentially, okay? And that's huge because you never have to open it, clear it, do things like that because it does it automatically. It's more of a zero maintenance system than having to actually maintain your system.
Oh, I see. That's a great line. This is a zero maintenance system as opposed to a maintenance only system with the Blink cameras or what other cameras they can
Blink,
buy. Ring, Google Nest.
Yeah, Google Nest.
All of those.
Arlo.
Do you think people
Roku.
don't sell convenience enough with
Yeah.
Vivint? The fact that they don't have to worry about it. They pay a certain amount, but they pay also not to worry.
Yep.
And to have it work, of course, that's obvious. But the not worrying is a big deal.
That's honestly a huge one.
Huge one. Do you feel like you hit on that a lot?
That's one that a lot of people like.
I see.
I think telling people like, even if there was a service, to be done, that's why you have your protection plan. You don't got to do anything. You just reach out.
People love convenience.
People love convenience.
People will pay 3 times the value of a food if they were to go in person, if they could get it from Uber Eats.
100%.
It's so crazy how convenient things have become and how
I use
willing
DoorDash
people
a ton.
are willing to pay. They're willing to pay like a 300% markup to keep them at home and not have to get in a car and drive 15 minutes.
100%.
Yeah, I feel as if we can emphasize more on that. That, hey, you really are buying, the opportunity to not worry about stuff.
You're not just buying peace of mind, but you're, again, protecting the family. But you're also, buying something that's backed forever. That's why I love it. We're not, one of the, third-party dealer companies, things like that. Like, we are Vivint. And that's what I emphasize.
You're going to the source.
Yep.
Those are best practices. Any other best practices that you feel like you have, or mentality or things that you've uncovered through succeeding at the level that you have?
Yeah, I think a lot of people worry about the no's and they let them get to them a lot, which is why I say look ahead 3 doors so you know what you're thinking about the next 3 doors, how you can get better at each door versus, this guy just said no. Like it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you have tons of people saying no, right? And I think a lot of people get really discouraged when it comes to that. So if you're looking ahead at every single door, and having your next plan of what you're gonna say versus what did I do wrong, it's gonna be a lot better. So okay, I'm going to this door now. I don't think this worked. I'm gonna emphasize this more on this pitch with this customer.
So because you're looking 3 doors down, you don't dwell on the negativity,
correct,
or the rejection because you have someone that you're gonna go talk to,
yep,
and you have to be ready.
Yep, you're keeping your mind. You're keeping your mind tight, already. That's why I say getting to doors after a meeting, not messing around, sitting there, whether people are, playing, games or on their phones or, just talking to other, reps, no urgency to doors, right? I always want to get out. As soon as meeting's done, I want to get out of here.
Because the value of getting that first deal early.
Yep.
And what does that do for you when you get your first deal before 4 p.m.?
Well, it does a lot. It gets the momentum going early. That way, when 5 o'clock hits, more conversations are there. I'm on my toes.
You're on your toes, hyper focused. You feel calm because you already got your first deal.
Yep.
Do you feel like the more calm you are, the more people are willing to buy from you, or do you feel like
100%?
Do you feel like you feel that way?
Yeah, and not only that, let's say you do get discouraged if you're out early, right, and you're discouraged a little bit early. It's really easy to turn your day around. You're okay, I'm having a little bit of time. Take a minute break. Okay, what can I do better? Right, go back to the things that work for me, and I need to emphasize it on this next door, even if you do get discouraged. I used to be a big thing. Last year's home opener was a big change for me because one of the speakers that went up was write down 3 things that you did good today and every day. And when you do that, right, it starts creating the good habits because you're writing the things down. Sometimes you're going to see a lot of things are the same, but those things are obviously working for you. So keep doing those things, and then when you see certain things, I didn't do, some of these things here and there, I need to get back to that. So you go back and you start doing the things that did good for you. So when you get to times that are bad, you can go back and look at your notebook or your notes and you're okay, I was doing these things. This is what I'm not doing right now.
Okay. Do you feel like you've mastered the craft? Do you feel like, no?
Nope. If you feel like you've ever mastered it, you probably haven't.
You probably haven't.
You're probably far from it.
There's always levels.
There's so much more to learn all the time, right?
What do you think you've learned most recently? That though you're hyper competitive, you're super efficient at what you do, What's the most recent piece of knowledge that you've acquired in the job?
Um, Being just consistency is everything, man. Like if like for me, like it doesn't matter what way like or whatever part you are in the same like the sales cycle. If you do everything consistently, whether it's prospecting, qualifying things, like if you're hitting all your points every time, like if you're consistent with your pitch and how you say things, it's gonna make your life a lot easier. But I would say the biggest thing that changed for me too is just being myself.
So for you, um, how meaningful is it that you have a skill set and you're at a company that helps you make over $5,000-6,000 every single week?
It's really nice. The reason why is because like it was one of the biggest things that I saw an opportunity on is like no one else can write my check. I'm the only one who is in charge of what I make. So like having that opportunity and like seizing that like hey, like if I put all this work in every week, I'm not really gonna ever have a worry about finances ever again. And if I was in a position, I just know I have to work even harder and I can get there. So like it's really nice knowing that like a company is willing to reward you with how much work you do.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I don't you can't no nowhere else is going to give you this kind of money ever. But I don't get it if I'm not out there working. So that's like the biggest piece is like be out there working like there's something we say in the office, it's the harder you work, the luckier you get. Right? So if you're out there, something's going to come up.
Is there anybody luckier than you?
Uh
Probably not. No one works harder than you.
Again, it's people.
Do you outwork everybody in your office?
There's I will say that there's guys that work, but it's just sometimes it's just little they can get better at learning products. But I really appreciate everybody in my office. Everybody in my office, whether it's even some of my guys I've learned some stuff from.
Yeah.
Right. But
that's
it's
good.
but when it comes to work, I feel like that's one thing that I would probably say is I put in a lot more hours than most.
And what's more hours than most? Define
Again,
that.
like people like and not just in our office.
40 hours a week that you're out on the doors actively. You're not
So from
messing around in your car, on
1:30
your
to
phone.
8:30.
You're actively engaged. You're on the doors.
Yep.
Cool.
Then that's what I like breaks. When it comes to breaks, I tell people you need to use the restroom, get in the house.
And that's what it takes. Do you take lunches on a Saturday?
No, I don't. I don't even take lunches during the week.
Oh, you don't?
I
When do you eat lunch?
I literally eat two massive meals, one in the morning and one at night. I don't eat lunch.
Do you do that for performance?
Everything, bro.
Why do you do that for performance?
I do it because if I go eat, I'm gonna get full and I'm gonna want to get lazy.
Oh, I see.
So
you are purposely a little bit famished because you play better that way.
yeah, I mean, energy drink, caffeine's gonna keep that that hunger away, anyways. So being on the doors, if you leave to go to the gas station, do this because you're gonna end up getting on your phone, right? You're gonna call someone. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm too full to work right now. Walk. Like no, like it's get out there, be there during the hours.
And so you purposely design your day to avoid distractions.
Yep.
At every given moment, from 1:30 to 8:30.
Yep, unless
It
it's one of
sounds
my
like
guys
those-
calling me, that's it.
It sounds like those hours are sacred.
Yep, they really are. It's
Yeah.
really important to keep work hours. Treat it like
hours.
if it's a 9 to 5, but it's better than that, right? Because you're writing your own check. If you're leaving, right, you're taking away money from yourself, and that's why it's important not to leave.
Do you feel like, I guess for you, what are you most excited for about your future here at Vivint?
Growth. I think that there's no other company that allows you to grow at the rate that this one does. I think growth is where I'm most excited to be.
And how do you mean, like your personal sales, your recruiting, your team building, your like personal development,
All the above.
all the above?
All the above. Like I would like it's cool to like right now I have my little brother with me. It's cool to see him want to grow in that way. And it's crazy because my little brother even told me the other day, drop me off because if I get my car I'm gonna leave early. It's crazy that he knows that because I'm not the same way because I want to stay out there, right? But that he knows like if I take my car I'm gonna leave early. I'm gonna be like people get poopy pants and they're like, oh my god, I'm all sad, like I didn't get a deal. Like instead of going out there and finding a deal, it's pretty cool. So it's just nice to know that whatever I'm doing is like even like for my family, like my other brother's 17 right now and he can't wait to turn 18 and come work for us because he sees that there's nothing out there that puts you in a position other than putting yourself in an uncomfortable one to get to where you want to be.
And what does it mean to you in the income profile that you can make here working at Vivint, that you can earn not just commissions and overrides, but also stock and residual?
I think that's like a big thing for me, right? Because then that's gonna, once I get there, I'm never gonna take my foot off the gas, but that's also gonna, help me get other guys there, right? People that have the same drive, same effort. Like that's the one thing that I'm really hoping for is like, I think it's really nice to be in a company where you can bring someone on and show them the way and they can change their life too. So like, I think it's really cool just having a company like that because it's a huge benefit versus an incentive to me because it's like they're rewarding you for, changing people's lives is the way I look at it. So I think that's probably the best part when it comes to stuff like that.
It's really cool. So who's going to be number one?
For whoever it is.
In 2026, you're second in the company, and the season ends September 30th. Let's say we approach September 30th. It's 11:59. What does the scoreboard look like? What do the rankings tell?
That I worked hard.
Okay.
That's it. I don't.
I know you've got big aspirations, man. If you want to throw in 300 or 400, I feel like you are very likely
my will do is
going to be like right there where you need to be.
Yeah, so like my will do is 350. I will do 350.
350.
But I can do 400.
You can do 400.
So that's what I'm shooting for.
I see. That's so cool, man. I have a lot of admiration and respect for you, dude. I know you've come a long way. This has been great getting to know you a bit more. I know there's a lot more dimensions to you.